Most people don't like to talk about aging. They turn away from it like it's some distant storm, hoping it never reaches their doorstep. But if you've crossed 70, or you know someone who has, you understand something that the younger ones don't. Time stops waiting for no one. It moves whether you're ready or not. And yet, what most people don't realize is that your body is always talking to you. It's giving you clues, little signs about how long your journey might still be. Now let me be clear. I'm not talking about magic, nor am I saying there's a secret formula that can predict the exact number of years you have left. Life has its own rhythm, and sometimes it surprises us. But if you pay attention, if you really observe, your body, your habits, and your mindset will whisper to you about your future. There are 7 key signs that can tell you whether your path ahead is long and steady, or if the road is starting to narrow. And if you recognize them early enough, you might even be able to change the course of your later years. The first sign isn't something most people think about, but it's one of the biggest indicators of longevity, the strength of your grip. Have you ever shaken hands with someone and felt the energy behind it? A firm, steady grip often belongs to someone who still has a good amount of life force running through them. Research has shown that grip strength is directly linked to lifespan. Why? Because it reflects overall muscle mass, nerve function, and cardiovascular health. As you age, if your grip weakens too fast, it's often a red flag that your body is losing strength from the inside out. But if your grip is still strong, if you can still open a jar without struggle, if you can still hold on to things without feeling weakness in your fingers, it's a good sign that your body isn't giving up on you yet. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking that a weak grip is just about hand strength. It's about how well your body is still holding itself together. If your grip is fading, chances are your balance, endurance, and overall physical stability are declining too. And here's the thing, you can do something about it. Simple exercises like squeezing a rubber ball, lifting light weights, or even practicing a strong handshake can help maintain that strength. The body follows what you train it to do. But let's move on to something even deeper, the second sign that can tell you how many years you might have left. This one isn't about physical strength. It's about something just as important, the speed of your walk. Have you ever noticed how an older person moves when they're full of life? They don't shuffle, they don't hesitate, they walk with purpose. And science backs this up. Studies have found that older adults who maintain a steady, confident walking speed tend to live longer than those who slow down too much, too soon. It's not just about leg muscles, it's about coordination, lung function, heart health, and even mental sharpness. If you're still walking at a good pace past 70, it's a strong sign that your body is still functioning well as a whole. On the other hand, if your steps are getting smaller, if you find yourself hesitating before you move, if getting from one place to another feels like a chore instead of a natural movement, it might be time to pay attention. Because slowing down isn't just about aging, it can also be a sign that something deeper is affecting your body. But here's the good news. You can always train yourself to walk better, to walk stronger. Take small steps every day. Push yourself, just a little. The way you move through the world says more about your future than you might think. Now let's talk about the third sign. This one catches a lot of people off guard, but it's just as important as the rest. Your ability to stand on one leg. Sounds simple, right? But don't be too sure. Try this. Stand up and lift one foot off the ground. See if you can hold it for at least 10 seconds without wobbling too much. If you can, that's a good sign. If you struggle, though, it might be a warning. Balance isn't just about muscles, it's a reflection of your brain, your nerves, and your internal stability. Poor balance can be an early sign of neurological decline, and as we get older, our risk of falls increases dramatically. And a fall, especially past 70, can be the difference between a long, active life and a downward spiral. The good thing is, balance is something you can train. Simple exercises like standing on one leg while brushing your teeth, practicing gentle yoga, or even walking on uneven surfaces like grass can help keep your inner stability strong. It's a small habit, but it can add years to your life. Now, there are 4 more signs to talk about. Each one tells a different story about how much time might still be ahead of you and what you can do to make the most of it. But before we move forward, take a moment to reflect. Have you checked your grip? Have you noticed the pace of your walk? Have you tested your balance? These small details might seem insignificant, but they are quiet indicators of what's going on beneath the surface. Now that we've covered the first 3 signs, let's move on to something even more important, something that people don't usually pay attention to until it starts slipping away: your breath. You see, the way you breathe holds more information than you might think. It's not just about taking in air, it's about how efficiently your body is using that oxygen. If you want to know how long you might live, pay attention to the quality of your breathing. Try this simple test. Take a deep breath in, then exhale, slowly. How long does it take for all the air to leave your lungs? If your breath is strong, steady, and controlled, that's a great sign. It means your lungs are still functioning well, your heart is doing its job, and your blood is carrying oxygen efficiently. But if you find yourself getting short of breath too easily, if a short walk leaves you gasping, or if your breathing feels shallow even when you're sitting still, that's a sign that something might be weakening inside. Lung capacity naturally decreases with age, but how fast it declines is what matters. If your breath is weakening too soon, it could be a sign of reduced circulation, lower lung elasticity, or even hidden cardiovascular issues. And the worst part? Most people ignore it. They think it's just part of getting older, but it doesn't have to be. The good news is, you can improve your breathing, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Deep breathing exercises, singing, or even something as simple as blowing up a balloon can strengthen your lungs over time. Breathing is life. If you take care of it, it will take care of you. Now let's talk about the next sign. And this one is all about something most people don't connect with longevity: your stress levels. Take a moment to think about this. When was the last time you truly felt at peace? Not just distracted by television or a hobby, but genuinely calm, without a single worry weighing on your mind. If you struggle to remember, that might be a problem. Science has been telling us for years. Stress kills. It wears down your heart, weakens your immune system, and speeds up aging. But what's even more dangerous is that most people don't even notice how much stress they carry. It sits in their body like a quiet poison, tightening their chest, disturbing their sleep, shortening their patience. So here's a simple way to check. How do you react to problems these days? If a small inconvenience makes you tense up, if a little bit of bad news keeps you awake at night, or if you find yourself getting angry more often, your body might already be suffering from the weight of stress. On the other hand, if you've learned to let things go, if you can find calmness even in the middle of chaos, if you can laugh even when life isn't perfect, that's a powerful sign that you have many years ahead of you. People who live the longest aren't the ones who never face hardship. They're the ones who know how to handle hardship. They breathe through it. They focus on what they can control and let go of what they can't. And here's something interesting. Studies have shown that optimistic people live longer. It's not about ignoring problems. It's about how you choose to carry them. If you make peace with life, life will be more willing to stay with you. But stress isn't just about thoughts. It also affects your body. And that brings us to the next sign: how well you sleep. Many people don't realize that poor sleep is a sign of poor health. They think it's normal to wake up tired, to toss and turn, to get up multiple times a night. But here's the truth. Your body heals itself while you sleep. If your sleep is broken, your body's ability to repair itself is broken too. Think about this. Do you wake up feeling refreshed, or do you feel like you've been hit by a truck? If you struggle to sleep well, if you always feel exhausted, no matter how much you rest, your body might already be telling you that something is wrong. Chronic sleep deprivation weakens your immune system, increases inflammation, and even affects your memory. And poor sleep isn't just a nighttime problem. It shortens your life day by day, stealing your energy, your focus, and eventually, your years. But the good news? You can fix it. Start by checking your habits. Are you drinking too much caffeine? Late in the day? Are you staring at screens before bed? Are you letting your worries follow you under the blankets? One of the biggest secrets to a long life is learning how to rest properly. If you sleep well, your body will work better. Your brain will stay sharper. Your immune system will fight harder. Your years will stretch longer. Now, let's pause for a moment. We've covered 6 powerful signs so far: your grip strength, your walking speed, your balance, your breathing, your stress levels, and your sleep. But there's one more sign left, one that might just be the most important of all. We'll dive into that in the next section, but before we do, take a moment to reflect. Have you noticed any of these signs in yourself or someone you love? Have you seen the little clues that your body gives you? Aging isn't just about counting years. It's about understanding the quality of those years. And if you pay attention to these signs, you won't just predict how long you might live. You'll have the chance to do something about it. We've talked about physical strength. We've talked about breath, balance, stress, and sleep. But now, we're going to touch on something deeper. Something that might just be the most powerful sign of all. It's not something you can measure with a stopwatch or a test. It's not something a doctor can diagnose with a machine. But if you look at the people who live the longest, really look at them, you'll see that they all have one thing in common: a reason to wake up every morning. This is the 7th and final sign. Do you still have a purpose? Now, this isn't about having a job. It's not about being busy just for the sake of it. It's about whether or not you feel like your life still has meaning. You see, after 70, many people start to fade, not because their bodies give out, but because their spirit does. Maybe they've lost friends. Maybe their children don't visit as often. Maybe they've retired and suddenly feel like they have nothing to do. And when a person stops having a reason to move forward, the body starts moving backward. You can see it in their eyes, in their energy, in the way they talk about the future. Some people past 70 still light up when they speak. They have projects, passions, things they look forward to. They wake up excited about something, even if it's small. But others, they sink into the routine of waiting for meals, waiting for the news to come on, waiting for another day to pass. And that waiting turns into wasting time, wasting energy, wasting the precious years they still have left. There's a name for this in Japanese culture. They call it Ikigai, your reason for being. And those who have it, they live longer. Not because they have perfect health, not because they never faced loss or hardship, but because they still have something to wake up for. So ask yourself, what is keeping you going? Is there something that still excites you? Something that makes you curious? A hobby? A person? A responsibility? A mission? Anything that makes you feel like you still matter? Because here's the truth. You do matter. Maybe you think you've already done your part in life. Maybe you feel like your best years are behind you. But let me tell you something. If you're still breathing, life still wants you here. And it's up to you to decide how you use the time you've been given. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know what my purpose is anymore, don't worry. Purpose doesn't have to be something grand. You don't have to be out changing the world. Sometimes purpose is found in the smallest things. Maybe it's taking care of your garden. Maybe it's writing letters to old friends. Maybe it's volunteering, mentoring someone younger, or simply being someone that others can rely on. Maybe it's reading books that make you think, or creating something with your hands, or maybe it's learning something new. Because here's something incredible. People who continue to learn, no matter their age, live longer. Their minds stay sharp. Their curiosity keeps their brain active. And when the mind is active, the body follows. On the other hand, when someone stops learning, when they stop being curious, when they stop being interested in the world around them, That's when aging speeds up. So here's a challenge for you. Find one thing to learn this week. It doesn't have to be something big. Maybe it's a new word in a different language. Maybe it's a new recipe. Maybe it's a small fact about history, science, or art, something that makes your brain wake up. Because the day you stop learning is the day you start fading. Now, let's go even deeper. Because purpose isn't just about hobbies or interests. It's also about relationships. Let me ask you this. Who do you talk to every day? Do you still connect with people? Do you still laugh with someone? Do you have a friend, a neighbor, a relative that you enjoy spending time with? Or have you started to pull away? Because here's something that most people don't realize. Loneliness is just as dangerous as smoking. Science has proven that people who are socially isolated have a much higher risk of disease, dementia, and even early death. Now, you might be thinking, I'm fine on my own. And maybe you are. But even the strongest people need connection. Even the most independent souls need to share moments with others. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't even have to be in person. But if you go too long without meaningful conversation, without a real human connection, you'll feel it. Your mind will slow down. Your energy will dip. Your days will start to feel longer and emptier. The people who live the longest? They don't just have strong bodies, they have strong relationships. So if you've lost touch with old friends, reach out. If you haven't talked to your family in a while, call them. If you don't have many people in your life, find a way to meet new ones, because the heart doesn't just need to beat, it needs to feel. Now we've covered a lot in this journey. We started with the body, your grip, strength, your walking speed, your balance. We moved on to your breath, your stress levels, your sleep. And now, we've talked about your mind, your purpose, your relationships. But let's bring it all together. How long can you live after 70? The truth is, no one can answer that for you. But your body is giving you clues. Your life is giving you choices. And you still have control over how you live your remaining years. Because aging isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. And if you take care of these 7 signs, if you pay attention, if you make small changes, if you keep your mind and body strong, then 70, 80, even 90 can be a time of life, not just a time of waiting. So ask yourself, are you still moving with strength? Are you still breathing with ease? Are you still resting with peace? Are you still learning with curiosity? Are you still connecting with love? And most importantly, do you still have something to wake up for? Because if you do, then your best years aren't behind you. They're still ahead. And that's something worth living for. So here we are. We've walked through the 7 signs, each one a quiet whisper from your body, telling you about the road ahead. Some of these signs are easy to see, like the strength in your hands or the speed of your steps. Others are more subtle, hidden in the rhythm of your breath, the weight of your stress, the depth of your sleep. And then there are the signs that have nothing to do with the body at all. The fire in your spirit, the curiosity in your mind, the connections that keep your heart full. The truth is, aging is not a countdown. It's a choice. Yes, time will move forward. Yes, the body will change. But you still have more power than you think. You still get to decide whether you shrink into these years or stand up and live them fully. Because here's something no one tells you. Longevity is not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. So take a look at where you are now. Maybe you feel strong. Good. Keep going. Maybe you see signs that worry you. Good. Now you know where to start. Because at the end of the day, it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to strengthen your body, to lighten your stress, to sharpen your mind, to reach out to someone, to find something new to wake up for. And if you do that, if you commit to living, not just existing, then no matter how many years you have left, they will be good years. And that's what really matters.